When you walk into these houses that I remodel, it looks like a house, but you get it for less taxes and you get it cheaper.
Hey, wouldn't it be cool if you bought some vacant land for a few $1,000, stuck a mobile home on it, and then maybe tripled the value on that? I've been talking a lot about how to wholesale vacant land, but this is now a new twist where if you could add some value to that vacant land and go from maybe a $10,000 profit to $50,000, $100,000 profit by just adding on a mobile home. We're going to be interviewing a lady, Mitsy, about how she's doing this right now and is crushing it. And this is going to be a great, great podcast that you're going to really get a lot of value out of. So get ready, get a pen, get some paper. You're going to be writing down some notes. But first, I want to tell you this podcast is brought to you by my workshop. Every Saturday, I do a $7 little workshop where it's like, hey, if I had to start all over again from scratch and go into a brand new market and start a new land investing business in an area that I've never done deals in before, what exactly would I do? So this is a 3 to 4 hour workshop that is just jam-packed with information. And I'm going to show you kind of behind the curtain what it is that we actually do, how I pick the markets, how I find the buyers, where I find the demand, how I do the marketing campaigns. You're going to actually hear and see me talk to sellers, talk to realtors, and actually make real offers live right there on this Zoom webinar. And this is a lot of fun. If you want more information, just go to joemccall.com/Saturday, joemccall.com/Saturday. Check it out, and you're going to love it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to take this content. I want you to look at it and actually just copy what I do and implement it for you in your own business, or send the videos to your virtual assistant and say, hey, just do what Joe just did here, or send it like I've done a lot of deals with my boys. So send the videos to your kids and watch it with them and say, hey, let's do this together. So check that out right now, joemccall.com/Saturday. Cool. All right. Let's bring Mitsy Diane in. Mitsy, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being on the show. We were just talking, I don't remember, a couple weeks ago, and you were telling me a little bit about what you do with this vacant land. Now, you're a wholesaler. You do a lot of different kinds of deals for houses and land. You've been in the business a long time. You even do some of your own coaching and mentoring, and soon you will be starting your own podcast. We were just talking about that a little bit, right? But you were telling me something really cool here about what you're doing to this land, and I want you to tell a little bit of your background. How'd you get started into real estate? And then talk about how did you stumble across this little kind of a niche within a niche, right?
Yes. Okay, so how I got started was actually when I was 19. I bought my first house, and it was actually a mobile home on land. And I moved into it and started flipping it myself. And then I rented that out, and then I moved into another house and started rehabbing it and rented that one out too. So that's actually how I got started, was just living in the houses and fixing. But the second one, it was a brick home.
Nice.
And so what's cool is after you own those, if you stay in there for 2 years, the profits are tax free. So I was able to make some good profit there when I did sell that. And then about 8 years ago, I wanted to learn more about the actual flipping process. And I found a wholesaling coach that was a real estate attorney, hired him. And then within 23 days in my first wholesale deal. And I just was like, I'm kind of addicted to this now. And I went in full time.
Now, what year was that?
2016.
So 2016, about 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And you got started full time, just kind of wholesaling.
Yes.
Wholesaling houses?
Yes. Yes.
And what market were you in?
San Antonio.
Okay. Are you still in Texas?
I am.
Okay, cool. I'd like to ask you some questions later about land and how to get comps, because Texas is a non-disclosure state. So let's talk about that later. So what happened after 2016? You started doing land or wholesaling full time. Did it go really well for you? Has it always been awesome banner years?
Well, it actually did go well. It's stressful, but it did go really well. I did a good amount on my first deal, and then my second deal, and I did 6 figures in my first 6 months. So I was like, nice. Oh, okay. I got this down. I kind of got a little bit of a big ego because I thought I knew what I was doing. And then I started being asked to be on like podcasts and public speaking events because they're like, how are you doing these size deals? And then a year and a half into it, I did my largest deal in an apartment deal. And
Wow.
The buyer even bragged about how much they paid me. It was multiple six figures, and I just thought I knew what I was doing. But that was a multifamily deal, and I noticed that if you wanted to make the six figure deals, that actually going right outside of a major city like San Antonio and finding land, commercial land, or even multifamily, you would have a better chance of making those six figure assignment fees. So I started helping people with that, and then I actually wouldn't coach anyone until I did at least 100 deals. So
That's
I didn't,
awesome.
yeah, I felt like I wanted to know what I was doing really, because there's some people that they do like 5 deals and they're a coach. And I feel like there's so much to learn. Um, and Yeah, so then about a year and a half ago, I noticed that uh, the market was shifting with the interest rates rising and the house prices going up. And I was like, affordable housing is going to be needed. And I check out a website called FHFA.gov. So I was a financial advisor for 10 years before I jumped into this full time. And so I like to check the markets and what's going on. So if you go to FHFA.gov, it'll give you a lot of information about what's going on in the markets. And so I was checking that out, and I'm like, people are going to need more affordable rentals, but unfortunately, single family residence is not as affordable for a landlord to buy right now and make money off of because taxes went up and interest rates went up. So I just thought mobile homes and land. So I shifted into mobile homes and land, and while everybody else was complaining about the market, I was like, it's not doing too bad for me.
So you're still mainly focused in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's talk about mobile homes because I'm really interested in this.
Mm-hmm.
You're mainly doing are you okay, are you buying mobile home lots, mobile home parks?
Not mobile home parks yet. I'm just
Okay.
buying the lot, moving the mobile home on it, or I'm buying the lot with a mobile home on it already.
Okay. So two things that I want to talk about. Adding a mobile home to a lot and then buying lots with mobile homes on them.
Mm-hmm.
So is there, like, when you're pulling a list, well, to market to, can you pull a list of like land with mobile homes on it?
You can.
How do you do
Don
that?
Fowler with Really Flow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got that. He's got that data.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mobile home lots, mobile
Uh-huh.
lots with mobile homes on them. Okay.
Mhm.
I wonder if he's got it, like, can you get it on Priced or PropStream, or is that just a special thing that he's got?
I actually, you found a lot of lead generation companies do have it. They just don't really
Okay.
show it because they don't think people want it. So I've actually not had to market for mobile homes. I just tell these lead generation companies, send me the leads that you guys don't want. And so I don't have to pay. And it's several.
Well, okay, that's awesome because I'm doing a workshop in about a month with two friends of mine on vacant land investing in St. Louis. And
Mhm.
one of the guys, Brent Bowers, he's doing a lot of land deals right now by just contacting. Do you know Brent?
Yeah, the land shark. He's a land shark guy.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Hmm.
He's doing a lot of land deals right now by just networking with other wholesalers who paying. They're the ones that are paying thousands and thousands of dollars a month on PPC campaigns. And he's
Hmm.
like, hey, if you get any vacant land deals, send them to me. I'll buy them. Because no wholesaler, regular house wholesaler, wants to mess with vacant land. So
Exactly.
that's fascinating. You're getting a lot of your leads from other wholesalers that just throwing them away.
Yes.
I love it. Okay. And then, so you're getting these leads of, are you doing any outbound marketing, like with direct mail to these leads also?
Not for the mobile home ones. No, I
Okay.
don't need to. I have too many leads. I can't even get up to all of them. So,
And all that you're doing is, and by the way, if our audio video is pausing, sometimes it looks like it is. I apologize about that. The
mhm.
recording will still be good. So again, the only the only lead generation you're doing is from referrals of from other wholesalers. Are you asking? Are you talking and networking with other wholesalers just in your area of San Antonio, Texas, or all over the state?
San Antonio, Texas is where I do it, but because I've developed a network, the masterminds that I'm part of, and just some other people that I've known along the way, they own. I think I know most of the major lead generation companies, the owners of them. So I just talked to them and said, you guys getting mobile home leads, and some of them actually reached out to me and said, "Hey, Mitsy, we need to talk more about these mobile home leads because we just throw them away." And so they're reaching out to me, or I'm reaching out to them. And some of them are like, "I've got like 350 to hand over to you. Can you handle that?" And I'm like, let me build out the team a little bit more, or like do more mentoring so I can pass these leads on to students. Because even though I'm in Texas, I have a student in Belgium. So like, it doesn't matter where you are, I can teach you. But the other mobile home leads, I prefer not to put my time on to finding buyers in multiple states. I give my students those leads to find those buyers in the areas that they're in.
So when you get a mobile home lead, is it ever a lead of a mobile home in a mobile home park? And so you still buy those?
Yes.
Okay. How does that work? Because sometimes they just rent their space, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you'll still make an offer to buy that mobile home?
Yes. Yes.
What percent of your leads are like they're just renting the land versus they own land and have a mobile home on it?
It's probably about 30% have the mobile home in the mobile home park. Yeah.
So then 70% have their own land and they have a mobile home on their land. All right, let me say this too for the audience. Like whenever you get unrestricted land, it is so much easier to sell. Would you agree with that, Mitsy?
Yes.
And why is that? I know the answer, but why is it?
Because the sky's the limit. What do you want to do with it?
Exactly.
Yeah. So it could fit a lot of buyers.
Especially if it already has a mobile home on it. That means it's probably, not always, but it's probably already passed a perk test, or it already has a septic system or something like that.
Yes.
Which is, explain what a perk test is for those who don't know.
I actually don't know. I've never heard of that. The perk test.
Well, maybe it's not a thing in Texas, but there's usually when you have, when you buy vacant land, you have to test the soil for a septic system, right? And so sometimes it depends on the county, but like a property has to pass a perk test by an environmental engineer or something that then says, hey, it's okay to put a septic system in here, or it tells you the size of the septic system that you can have. But in some areas, it just doesn't matter. I don't know what people do. They just put it out there and whatever, right?
Well, here in Texas, it's the county that makes those rules, or the city. They'll be like, okay, you can only have this many septics per acreage, or you can have mobile homes this close to each other. Like, I think it's Pearsall, Texas, that I may be wrong on the city, okay? But you could literally put mobile homes side by side. So if somebody wanted to buy land, they could fit as many mobile homes as they possibly could on that one. But that's not for every county. So you need what I prefer doing is making friends with the engineers and surveyors, the engineer and surveyor companies, and then talking to them about the land that comes up and seeing what they know I can do with it. That way I don't have to call the county, because if anybody's dealt with the city and the county, you can tell that it's not always the best answers or even the best service. But the engineers, they know who to contact and they already know all the answers.
That's excellent advice. Good. Okay. When you get a lead coming in for somebody who owns a mobile home, what are some of the things that you look for when you're evaluating that kind of a deal? What makes a good deal or not?
Okay. So so as you do it, you'll notice there are certain brands that are better than others, that are built better. Anything after 1976 is a manufactured home. It's not a mobile home. So HUD did change the way that those are built after 1976. They're built better, but there's still companies that build lower quality. So like Solitaire, Clayton, Palm Harbor, those are going to be your higher quality. So I have this set standard of I like 2,000 and above, and I prefer double wide. I like 4-bedroom, 2-bath because those sell faster. And I try to get those for under 20K. I got a 2003 4-bedroom, 2-bath double wide for free, and I sold it for $44,000. That's what's amazing about double wides is they'll give it to you for free just to move it off the land for them because they're trying to build. So I have ads where I'm like, I'll move your mobile home for free. And then, of course, who's calling me? People who just want to move a mobile home off. And then I got another one that I was willing to do this one because it was a 1985, but it was in a good condition. It was a good good mobile home. I got it for $1,500 and I sold it 2 days later for 21,000.
Wow.
So it's like, and I didn't even have to give her the 1,500. I just used the buyer's money to give her the 1,500. So that's some opportunities there. But I look for like, does this look like it's cheap enough that I can make some money off of? Like recently I did one in Mobile Home Park. I got it was a 1985 single wide 3-bedroom 2-bath. I got it for $4,000. They actually had it marketed on Marketplace for 20, but it was really bad marketing. So I offered her 4K. She took it. And I actually had walked a student through it and sold it to the student for $15K. That was kind of her wholesale, her fee to me, was me walking her through the deal. And the next day, within 24 hours, she already sold it for 25. So she was able to pay me and also get the buyer. And so that was, and it's in a mobile home park. That's stuff that people wouldn't even see a value in. But those are really easy to owner finance out.
Yeah.
And if you check with the mobile home park, make sure they sublease. And then if you owner finance it, you don't have to worry about subleasing. But at the mobile home park subleases, and like I can find them for pretty cheap. Sometimes mobile home parks will give it to you for free if you'll just fix them up. So you put a little bit of money into them. Let's say like you're all in at $7K. This particular mobile home makes $575 a month, and that's doing it cheap. So $575 a month off of a $15,000 investment. For me, it was $4,000 investment. Where do you find that?
Yeah. I love that. All right. So when you sell these mobile homes, are you selling them just for cash, or is it like an installment sale, rent to own type of a thing?
It just depends. So if they're going to be moving it off the land, or I'm wanting cash. If they're buying it on the land, I will do owner finance. And then it just depends on the deal itself. But I may create a note and sell that note, or maybe find somebody who can table fund it for me so I get my 100% of the note value right there at closing. Or I'll just, see if they can find a lender. When it's the mobile homes on the land, I try to find mobile homes that qualify for FHA financing. And I also find conventional finance lenders so that either way, I make it super simple for my buyers to buy it.
What are the FHA qualifications for mobile home parks or properties?
Mobile homes. So it has to be tied to the land as real property. Sometimes they call it retiring and retrofitting it to the land. So it's literally tying it to the land. And usually your mobile home mover can do that. So you just ask them to tie it to the land for you and connect all your utilities. And they usually will skirt it for you too. You just got to ask them ahead of time. But with mobile homes, you can, in Texas, so you've got to check the regulations of your area. And it's usually the housing community, the community housing association of your area will have a mobile manufactured housing division. Like Texas, it's TDHCA, the Texas Department of Community and Housing Affairs or something like that. And there's a manufactured division. Well, if you talk to yours, you can see what their standards are. And then the FHA lenders around there that do mobile homes. Anybody who does FHA can also do a mobile home if it qualifies. But it can only be moved twice in Texas, meaning like you can move it from a distributor to a piece of land, and then you can move it one more time to another piece of land, and it still qualifies for FHA as long as it's retired to the land, attached to the land, and real estate. You can do an FHA loan.
Okay. All right. And when you go find vacant land, how often do you, when you have a 1 or 2 acre piece of land that you're looking at, it's not restricted. Would you rather just wholesale it as it is, or would you rather put a home on it and then sell it?
It depends on where it's at. So what's cool about like Texas, I understand it's a non-disclosure state, so it's sometimes harder to comp stuff. But when you put a house on it, makes it where you can understand like, oh, if I put a house on it, I can get this much for it. So I know if I get this piece of land, like say half an acre for $35,000 that has all utilities, and I'm moving a mobile home for 25 and then 10 for moving cost. So I'm in it for like say 70, 75,000, and I can sell that for 150,000. I would do that all day long. But if it fits my criteria, and the location, because there's certain locations that are just a little further out, so it'll take longer to sell on the market. You just got to know your area. That's why I prefer to stay where I'm at. And yeah, so it just depends on the deal.
What does the land have to have in order for you to put a mobile home on it?
It's got to be unrestricted, and then I like to see that there's city water and electric, like right at the road, if not on the property. I prefer it to already be on the property. And I prefer, if it's septic, that the septic's already on the property. So if it's already got like an old mobile home used to be on it, got moved off, those are my ideal ones to take down and to move another mobile home on.
Okay, so there are lists you can buy of vacant. Well, no, it's not vacant, but you can find homes, mobile homes on land. When you're searching for that kind of a list, do you say minimum quarter acre, minimum half acre, or something like that?
Yeah. What I do actually, I call it my mob boss approach and driving for dollars. But I find communities that are already mobile home communities that have like half an acre or an acre each, that people own the mobile homes on. So they buy the land and they move the mobile homes on it. And I just have somebody drive for dollars, or I do it. I still love driving for dollars. So like I'll do it sometimes too when I'm feeling like it. And I go through each one of those communities and know everything that's going down every street. Who's for rent, who's for sale. And then I start stacking lists on top of that. Like, is anybody in foreclosure, going through divorce, all that. And I really know what's going on in that community. And I picked 2 communities like that in San Antonio. And those 2 communities keep me very busy. Wow. Just because I mob boss approached it. When I say mob boss, it's like, I know where your kids go to school. I know where you go to work. I know everything about you before I call you, which is kind of weird, wow. But I just take that approach, and it just provides me plenty of leads for that.
Interesting. And then do you skip trace them or direct mail? How do you reach them?
I skip trace them and direct mail.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Have you ever done a direct mail campaign to an area that's, maybe a couple hours away, that you can get a list of 1,000 mobile homes on their own land there, and you just mail them and handle the leads as they come in?
I haven't had to yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've got plenty that come in that I don't have to do that yet. Crazy. I'd have to build my team out more.
I'm trying to think of, like, if somebody's hearing this for the first time, what are some of their objections? Like, people maybe stereotype mobile home parks. They think that these are completely run down and trashed and they're dangerous. And I grew up in a mobile home trailer for, I'm trying to remember, for at least 5 years of my childhood growing up. And looking back, I did not know we were poor, and maybe we weren't, but this was in the early 80s, probably for the first 5 years, 1980, 1985, mobile homes. And I thought they were cool, right? Like, yeah. I didn't know it was people lived anywhere else. But what are some of those stereotypes that people have, and can you talk about that?
Yes. And first, I want to lead with this. Barbara Cochran of Shark Tank, the big real estate person, you know her, right?
Yeah.
She lives in a double wide.
She does?
Currently, she lives in a remodeled double wide in Los Angeles.
No way.
Yeah. So just to put that out there. And you can look it up. She actually does a tour, if you want to look it up online and watch that video of her doing a tour of her double wide.
Why?
I guess she just wanted everybody to see it. And she's got plenty of money. She didn't need to buy a double wide, but she did. And she remodeled it just the way she wanted. Double wides, are you looking it up right now?
There it is. It's like, it's in the search results before I even typed it.
Yeah. So it's really just a mental thing, because double wides are so easy to remodel, and you can remodel it as great as you want to. It's like a shell that you can work with, and it's so easy to work on because you can get underneath the house, everything.
Well, a lot of times these are great too, because in these communities, you can actually be really close to the beach. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at some of these pictures. She's got, I think, views of the ocean from this place.
She does, and that's why she bought it. Actually, if you look at a lot of mobile home communities, they're around lakes, rivers, oceans. And you're like, why are there so many mobile homes? And you got these people who could not afford a normal house, living really in nice view areas. Even here in San Antonio, we've got this lake called Canyon Lake. It's a really pretty lake, and half of it has mobile homes on it. And they got and rivers, like all kinds of stuff. Like mobile homes have the view.
That's
So
crazy.
the objections that I find is it's just a mental idea of like it's trailer trash, or like, you know, poor people live there, or it's like a poor person house. They're not well built, you know, like, and that actually is less true now because they're actually pretty well built now. Because it has to go down the road and stay together. I think some of these houses couldn't stay together if it drove down the road that I remodeled that are single family residences. But I think like if you're going to remodel it, you can put better doors in there. That's what I do. You can put better frame doors in there. You can do better lighting. I actually take out the shower and tub and do all tile. So when you walk into these houses that I remodel, it looks like a house. But you get it for less taxes and you get it cheaper.
Yeah.
And you usually have more land or view. So it's nice.
I imagine you have a lot less competition for these kinds of deals too, right?
Yes.
That's super cool. Mm-hmm. Is this a business that you could do virtually? Or it sounds like you go look at a lot of these, right?
Actually, I buy most of mine sight unseen. And then I just have my contractors go out there. I'll see it later, but I already know what my criteria is. But yeah, I do look at them too. Mm-hmm.
So what would you tell somebody who's interested in doing something like this? You know, where would you recommend that they start?
Just go to Facebook Marketplace. That's a really great place to start. And Craigslist. Just look up mobile homes and just join all the mobile home groups that you can, all the investor groups you can, and check out Marketplace with the mobile homes and just see what people are putting them out for. And if you want to try it, just start making offers of 50% of whatever the price is on there. So if you find a mobile home for $20K, offer 10 or even offer 5, and then just keep following up. At first they may say no, they usually do. But if you keep following up, you'll, like the lady that I got the mobile home for $4K, she said no right away. So, because she had it listed for 20. So the week after, because there's not a lot of mobile home buyers. So I know that I'm like the main one around here. So I follow up and we keep following up until they say yes.
Can we look at one right now? Would that be all right?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to share my certain window here. All right. Can you see my screen? I hope this is working for the podcast. I think it is. And by the way, if you're listening right now to the podcast, you just go to my YouTube channel and you can find this video. So for some reason, I'm in Kern County. No, near Wildwood, Missouri. Okay. So I don't know what this is. All right, never mind. But I'm in Wildwood, which is near where I live. Mm-hmm. What would I look for?
So in the search box there where it says search marketplace, just put in mobile home. I do different ones. So I'll put in mobile home, then I'll put in single wide, I'll put in double wide just so I can pull them all up.
Okay. Yeah. So now what?
So that one for, so I would just start clicking on some of them, like this one for 6K. Let's see.
That looks not too bad.
Must be moved.
Need some work inside, right?
It really doesn't take much to fix up these mobile homes either.
Looks like they were trying to fix it up. I mean, from the outside, it doesn't look that bad.
I'd offer them $2,500.
Now, can you tell, like, is this, I don't see any kind of description here. But can you tell if it looks like it's a mobile home park. There's a mobile home across the street there in the picture. But like, looking at this picture here, what would you guess?
Really, I would start out like just saying I can move it for you for free because it's going to cost them. Yeah, because it says must be moved. First off, why does it need to be moved? Because maybe it doesn't. Maybe it just needs to be remodeled for the mobile home park to be okay with it to be there. And if it actually doesn't need to be moved, then okay, what needs to be done for it not to be moved? And and you can call the mobile home park yourself. Sometimes I'll do that because the owner will say, no, it needs to be moved. So I call the mobile home park. I'm like, does this really need to be moved if I remodel this? And just see what I can get. Because I know on a single wide here in Texas, I can move it for $2,500. And so this person's asking for $6,000 and it needs work. It looks like a pretty decent home. It looks like it's got good bones on it. Yeah. And can look pretty good. This one, I would just see if I can move it for free, if it does need to be moved. And then I would follow up again with them next week still offer that same offer. And then the week after that, if they're still stuck, then I'd be 1,500, and then maybe 2,000. They'll start going down.
If you, let's say they said, all right, we'll sell it for 2,500, then what would you do with it?
Then I would go take a bunch of pictures, make it look really, really good, come up with some really good marketing, like with Canva, and then relist it on Marketplace.
Maybe just clean it up a little bit, right? And get some professional photos. This looks like it was taken from an iPhone.
It's surprisingly, a lot of people do that. And if you just clean it up and take better photos and do better details in the description, you can get more money for it.
All right, but this one has to be moved. So who would?
So there's, so in your area, you just know your market a little bit more. Like here, we have a lot of Hispanic families that like to live on the same land. So I would put up a package saying, do you need a house for your kids or your grown kids? You want them to live close, or mother-in-law suite, great mother-in-law suite to move onto your land. This is a great mother-in-law suite right here. And then saying things like that. Do you have a college student living at home? You want them out of your house? Move this on your land instead. That's, with people who have land. Or like, this is a great starter home for a small family if you can find some land. And then if you partner up with a land wholesaler, then you can, I'll even call mobile home distributors too, because they're already selling mobile homes. They're not selling them this cheap normally. And if they are, it's not in this condition. It's way worse. So I will call mobile home distributors and see if they have people coming in that can't afford the ones they have on the lot. And if they would sell this one for me instead. And they're willing to take like $500 or $1,000 to sell a property for you. So you can get other people leveraging you to sell the property too. So better pictures, clean it up, put it back on the marketplace with better marketing, and talking to mobile home distributors.
I'm looking in this area of Jonesboro, Missouri, for vacant land that's for sale. What if there was some vacant land for sale here and there's not much, at least on this website? But let's say I found some land here for really cheap. Actually, I'm sorry, let me price low to high. 1.8 acres for 28 grand. This is probably not restricted. I'm just guessing. Same with this. Mm-hmm. This is a property that's nearby and looks like it's just got some trees in there. It needs to be cleared. It's probably not part of a subdivision and an HOA. If you could buy some land like this, move that mobile home on it, because it probably has utilities. There's some neighborhoods nearby. I would imagine if you knew this area, right, you could probably do really well with that kind of, you could make a great return on this. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe cut in a road, build a pad, move the trailer there. You don't have to rehab it necessarily. Just, what'd you call it? Skirt it?
Yeah. Retrofit it, skirt it, deck it.
Okay. So let's say you bought this thing for $2,500. You negotiated this piece of land down to $30,000, and you moved that mobile home here. You spent maybe, I'm just going to guess, 20 grand to bring in utilities and the pad and put a deck on it and all of that. How much could you sell that for?
I don't know that area, but let's say like the mobile homes are going for like 150 on an acre and a half, which that's a cheap, affordable housing, right?
Oh yeah.
You get an acre and a half and you got a 2-bedroom, 2-bath house on there. I do prefer at least 3-bedroom, 2-bath, but still, you got this 2-bedroom, 2-bath house. Let's say it could sell for 150. You're in it at what, 2,500 plus the 20,000. Let's just say 25,000. Huh?
So you'd be in it buying the mobile home for 2,500, then buying this lot for 30 grand. So plus 20 is 50. So you'd be all in for about 55, 60 grand.
Yeah. And let's just say for some reason you're in it at 75 because you decided to remodel it and make it look super nice and tile out the bathrooms, finish out the flooring, put some nice appliances in there. So you're in it at 70 grand and you can sell it for 150.
That sounds like a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Now you have to check the zoning. Yeah. Well, it's proposed use mobile home right there.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's timber. So what I would do is I would find a timber company to clear it off for me, make money off the timber instead of trying to pay somebody to clear it off. Get the timber company to do it, make money off the timber, then go ahead and after you got that, you maybe have the mobile home moving fee, and then move the mobile home out there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm wondering if we're buying land, let's just say in Putnam County, Florida, out in the middle of nowhere. And I wonder if you find a good lot that you're buying at 35, 40 cents on the dollar. Just go to Facebook Marketplace in that area and see if you can find a mobile home for sale there. Buy it for super cheap and just move it over there. Let's look at another mobile home here.
Okay.
Some of these, they're asking 26 grand,
Yeah, go
25,
ahead and click on
45
that one for
grand.
26. And actually, it doesn't look too bad.
Looks
Completely
brand new.
remodeled. I wouldn't
This
pay
is,
that. It does look
this is,
nice. I would sell it for that.
I hope there's a shower in there. Looks like it's just a bathtub. No, there is a shower, maybe in
Oh,
another
okay.
2-bed, 2-bath. So one of them has a shower, one of them has a bathtub. Interesting.
I mean, where are you buying a fully remodeled 2-bedroom, 2-bath house for 26K?
But what would you do with this then? And how, it's in a mobile home park.
This one, I would see if you can keep it in the mobile home park and if they're willing to sublease it. This could be good for somebody who wants rental income, but doesn't have a lot of money and wants to own it outright. Because some people don't like debt, and they want to know that they can make this much per month. And depending on what this can rent out in the park, you can make like 500 to 700, maybe even more than that a month off that $26,000 investment, which isn't too bad. Because if you're at 500, that's 6,000 a year. 4 years, you got it paid off, and if you put the money back into just paying yourself back, but that's and the cash on cash isn't too bad on that either. But
So what would you offer on this? It doesn't need any work. It kind of looks ugly on the outside. It might be an old picture though, but what would you offer on this?
yeah, I would offer like 15K.
Okay.
They would probably say no because they put money into it.
Sure. It depends kind of on how long they've been trying to sell it though, but it's worth a shot.
Or
Let's
I
look
would
at
see if
one
I
more
could owner
here.
finance it. So if I could owner finance it from them, then me selling it to the buyer, I could just sell that owner finance deal to them and then just ask for a bigger down payment and just pass it on to the buyer.
Oh, so you're saying offer to buy it with owner financing and then just sell it on owner finance or assign your contract to another buyer.
Yeah.
I've done that before with houses a lot. All right, this thing is free. It's on it's by Mark Twain. Like there's only one picture.
See,
This looks like it's older.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't touch that one.
Okay.
I do like to make sure that they have titles on them. So that's something to ask is, do you have the title on it? Now in Texas, if it doesn't have a title on and it's on your land, you can do an abandonment of mobile home and still get the title to the mobile home after like 45 days of sending out certified letters to the original owner and all that. Then they'll title it to you.
Okay. We'll look at one more here.
Okay.
This is a 3-bed, 2-bath. It's in the city of St. Louis, one of the suburbs. They're asking $19,900 for it. Like this is in a residential community. These are some exterior photos. Interior doesn't look that bad. Well, it needs updating.
Yeah.
Right. Needs new flooring, new paint. Just paint the cabinets, maybe.
Yeah. So the one I bought for 4K was actually very similar to this one, and I had a contractor come in for 1,500. He re-epoxied the tub and cleaned everything up and made it look nicer.
Okay.
So I would epoxy that tub because it's yellow and redo some of the lighting in there, and then just fix that minor stuff, and then I would offer 4 on that one.
You would offer $4,000 for this house.
Yeah, and then I would go ahead. Oh, so it's great because you can actually keep it in the mobile home park too. So what I like about this is you can owner finance these or rent them out, and if you're getting it for really cheap, like 4K, 5K, like you can owner finance it as is and ask for 5K down, make your money back, and then create yourself a note to start collecting money on it for the next 3 to 5 years.
Do you think this is an owner that's selling it, or do you think it's a wholesaler?
It may actually be.
Do you ever look at their profile and kind of see who they are?
Yeah, and if they're wholesalers, I actually friend request them and say maybe we could work together. So she's got 2 active listings. Oh, so she's probably the owner.
Yeah, she's got a lamp.
And you can ask them for the label number.
Well, yeah, she on her picture here, she says broker, buyer, lender. that
Oh,
might be an
okay.
investor.
So she's the investor. So she'd be somebody that I would network with. She probably won't take the 5K because she knows that she can get the 19 because she's like us. So she's doing what I did. Like I got mine at 4 and then, we ultimately sold it for 25K. So she's probably doing the same thing because she knows the money's
But
in there.
like, let's say you're just looking for some money to get some good cash flow, good return on your investment, right? Like, let's say you bought this thing for 15 grand. You put
Mhm.
how much would you need to put into it to make it nice? Like new flooring, maybe new flooring, paint, update light fixtures, repair some walls, reglaze that tub, maybe new counter, new vanity, right? Like, how much money would you put into this to make it decent?
5K to 7,500 maybe. And that should make it look pretty nice.
All right. So let's say you put 10 grand in it. Like
Uh-huh.
you go luxury. I'm just kidding. But like you buy it for 15. Let's say you put 10K into it. So you're all in it for 25 grand. And this is a 3-bed, 2-bath. Is this a double wide?
It was a
I
single
think it,
wide.
oh, it
Yeah.
is. Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah, it's a single wide.
Okay.
Mhm.
What could you rent it for?
So so it's a 3 bedroom, 2 bath.
Yeah.
I
And
would
this is
say,
like, look, it's in the suburbs of St. Louis. It's not out it's in a really good area, good school district.
okay, I'm gonna, so I check out Rentometer. I don't know, if you've used it before, but if I don't
Yeah.
know the area, I'll check out Rentometer. It's Rentometer, and it lets you, like with your email, it lets you do it for free. So I would, yeah, put that in there and then do 3 bedroom, 2 bath.
All right, let's just
You don't
see what
have
it,
to fill out the rent.
so the median rent is
Oh,
2 grand, but that's for a house, right?
okay. So you can probably rent that out for 1,500. But even that, so even mobile homes, sometimes you can rent just as much as a house.
Are
That's
you
what's,
serious?
yeah, that's what I like about rental, the mobile homes. Now
Holy
you
cow.
don't
So
get as
like,
much depreciation that you can write off with mobile homes that you can with single family residences, but you're talking about a lot less money into it.
but you're probably
Um,
going to have to pay some lot rent, right? How much would you pay in lot rent for this?
you would have to call and ask the mobile home park, but an average around here is between 425 to 650. So like if I know that and I know that I can rent that out for, let's say I know that I could rent it out for 1,500 a month because of the area, and the mobile home lot is 600. That's $900 a month that you're making off that property
Jeez, that's really
for
good.
what, a $20,000 investment. You make
And so
twelve
would
thousand
you?
dollars a month off of it.
Yeah, I mean that's not
Twelve
as
thousand a year.
that's a really good investment. That's better return on your money than you would make if you put that in money into a house and you got a bunch of leverage or debt on that. Um, Now, when would you recommend just renting this or selling it with owner financing? Is there an advantage to doing one or the other?
It just depends on you and what you're wanting. I like to owner finance them out, but if you know what's going on in the area, like, this Malone, we did owner finance it out, we just did yesterday, but the the area is about to boom because they're building a plant out there. So I knew that if I kept it, I could probably charge an extra $200 a month in rent the next year, which would have given me $775 a month off a $4,000 investment.
Yeah.
So that would have been great. But it was in Corpus Christi, which is about 2 hours, 2.5 hours from me. So we just decided to owner finance it because I don't like to have any. I used to have rentals and I used to flip
Yeah.
further away from me, but I learned that my time is better spent closer to me, and
Good.
then I sell the rest.
We need to wrap this up. This has been good. I appreciate you taking the time. We probably could have talked a lot more about. I'm just looking right now at another property that looks really even nicer shape for $9,000. It looks like brand new. Oh my gosh, this is another great area. This doesn't need any work. They're asking 9 grand for it right now in a
This
great
can get
subdivision.
addicting.
Yeah, this is in a really good area. All right. So anyway, how can people get a hold of you, Mitzi?
Check out my Facebook. It's Mitsy Diane, MITZIDYANE. And I'll have a link in my bio that you can fill out a form and reach out to me, and we'll reach back out to you. And then you can also just email me at Mitsy at SwiftSellProperties.com. And it's SWIFT SELL properties, all plural.com.
Yeah, good. Guys, if you have any interest in this, I really recommend working with somebody who's been there, done that, right? It's much better to learn from somebody that is already an expert in this than trying to figure it all out on your own. You could save a ton of time and money and hassle just by, and it sounds like you partner with your clients on deals, Mitsy. Is that right?
I do. Yeah. And
Awesome.
I'll partner with, my students and everything to make sure they get their first deal done.
Awesome. Thank you, Mitsy, for your time. I really appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you, Joe. Thank you for having me.
All right. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you.